Coming up right now on Marlborough this week, State Senator Scott Brown took time out of his busy schedule to visit the city this week. From workshops to counseling, a local career center is ready to help you get a job. Plus, the Hillside School is saving energy by using solar panels. And later in this half hour, one local dentist is visiting the schools to see if kids are taking care of their teeth. Those stories and more coming up right now on Marlborough this week. Welcome to Marlborough this week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin with Senator Brown's visit to Assabet Valley High School.
They had heard rumors that he was coming, but when we walked in a couple of the programs, I don't know if you noticed, but they go, oh my goodness, we really thought it was an April Fool's joke. So it was kind of unique. So they were like, oh my God, it's really him.
Yes, Friday was April Fool's Day, but this was no joke. U.S. Senator Scott Brown did show for a tour of our local vocational high school, Assabet Valley. Brown walked around the school with administrators to see what exactly goes on during school hours. After rescheduling once before this winter due to weather-related issues, administrators were pleased that this visit was carried out. Classroom after classroom, Brown looked impressed at what students are currently learning and accomplishing at this school.
It's a great incentive for the school because what I was really impressed with is the fact that the senator would go up to the students, talk to them, took a sincere interest in what they're doing, got an understanding of what we do here at Assabet. In fact, in one particular program, they had a sign posted, please support Carl Perkins. That's the Carl Perkins Act, and that's significant funds that come into our school that actually go to support our technical programs and all the equipment and professional development that's involved, the training for the teachers, which benefits the students. So it was very exciting. It's an exciting day to have a senator take a sincere interest in what you're doing with education and how you're educating the young people. So it was great for the school.
There are 17 technical programs at Assabet, and Brown viewed them all.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Scott Brown.
Josh Morin.
Josh,
nice
good
to meet you.
Good to see you.
And my overall feeling was he was impressed. I mean, he stated before he left to one of the reporters that he really found the students engaged, and that's critical today in education. So I was so pleased that he saw that. He said they were engaged and very focused. And that's what happens, and that we pride ourselves on that type of engagement here at Assabet, whether it be in their technical program or in their academic programs. So it was nice to see somebody recognize that, just walking through the building.
The senator took time to speak with teachers and students about what's important to them. He even had some time to take a few photos with staff and students. The senator especially enjoyed viewing the culinary arts department, where he sampled a few treats. Superintendent Araki was pleased that the senator took some time to view this school.
I think as you get higher up, no matter what the position, and I'll even use myself as an example as a superintendent, it's really important that you get down to the trenches, as we would call it. You need to know what's happening, and so he's made it a point to make sure that he knows what's happening with teachers, with students, and that's vitally important. It's like being a superintendent and never going out in your building, never knowing what the students are involved in, what your teachers are involved in. So to make that connection, I think, is vitally important because you can lose sight of it, and obviously the senator's made a point not to lose sight of that.
The City Council Monday night approved an amended home rule petition for another full liquor license that some councilors say will lead to a more bustling downtown. The Vin Bin can sell beer and wine, but seeks a license that also includes spirits as part of its planned expansion from 27 South Bolton Street to the old fire station at 91 Main Street. When the Legislative and Legal Affairs Committee discussed the petition earlier this month, councilors stated they wanted some language that the Vin Bin could use the license in other places downtown, not just 91 Main Street, in the event that the fire station plans fall through. The City Council held off voting on a proposal to take certain councilors out of the city's healthcare and pension systems to give more time to at least one of its own who would be affected by an amendment proposed on Monday night. City Councilor Matt Elder originally proposed taking new city councilors elected on or after November 1st out of the city's healthcare and pension systems. The proposal, written as a home rule petition, also needs the okay from Mayor Nancy Stevens and the state legislature. The mayor opposes the proposal as it's written because she thinks it would create a two-tiered system where some councilors would be eligible for benefits and others would not. As a result, Adler proposed amending the petition to remove all councilors from the healthcare system. U.S. Congressman Jim McGovern recently held a career forum for those looking for employment. McGovern highlighted a local career center, a valuable resource for residents.
We have a wonderful staff. Everyone is very caring, very concerned, wanting all of the customers that come in, the job seekers who come in, to get back to work as soon as they can. We do everything we can to help get you through the process of learning those skills you need to be able to land that job.
Chances are there's a good job out there for you, but no matter how bright the job market may be, great jobs don't come looking for you. You need to go find them.
Everything has changed so much in the last, say, 20 years. It's a different process to find employment than it was. And if you've been at a job maybe 15, 20, 25, 30 years and you get laid off, you're kind of stunned when you find out. You just don't put a resume in an envelope and send it anymore.
Career counseling is an effective way to get through a career change. Sometimes you don't always have everything figured out, and it takes a while to understand what you really want. Career coaching or career centers are invaluable resources for career counseling at any stage. Locally, there's a career and resource center that you can take full advantage of for free.
Well, our Career Center is one of 34 in the state, and we are here for any job seeker who is hoping to get back to work as soon as possible.
Workshops, one-on-one counseling, and resources are available for any resident that walks through the doors. Anyone who has attended a workshop walks away with valuable information, especially when it comes to computers.
They'll come in, learn a lot of the basic computer skills that perhaps they have, but everything has moved along. If you were using an older version of Microsoft Office, there's new versions now which we teach, and people can take those and upgrade their skills. If they don't have good computer skills, they can start with the very basics. And then the other workshops we offer help them to learn how to look for jobs on the internet, how to attach their resumes to perhaps emails or job postings, or how to go through the whole process of applying for things through the internet.
Now let's get some smart moves you can make right away to get the job you've always wanted. Smart job move number 1 is network.
We do have a couple of workshops teaching people how to do that, how to network, how to promote themselves.
Smart job move number 2 is research the company you are interested in.
Learn as much as you can about the company, because the more you know about the company, when they say to you, what can you tell us, what do you know about us, you have really good answers. You can talk about the company. So that's very important, to prepare yourself, not only knowing how to answer the typical questions, but also knowing a lot about the company.
And finally, on an interview, portray controlled energy.
You can't be so laid back that people think there's nothing there, but you also can't be jumping out of your chair. So you have to be able to show that you have energy and interest and you want the job. That's the other thing. A lot of people don't express that. They don't say, I'm very interested in this position. I think it's a good fit for me. Those are things that people want to hear. They want to know that you're interested.
Marlborough Hospital announced last week news of expansion that would begin as early as this fall. The new addition would focus on more cancer care. Marlborough Hospital has announced plans to build a cancer pavilion to provide expanded cancer care services. The current timeline calls for project completion in about 2 years. The cancer pavilion is estimated to be a 14,500 square foot addition to the north side of the hospital that will offer medical oncology and radiation oncology. Currently, medical oncology is located on the second floor of the hospital's 1952 building, while radiation oncology is available only off-site. A healing garden is also planned for an area adjacent to the pavilion and is intended to offer a tranquil place for hospital patients and family members. Last year, the hospital was named to the Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare Hospital Honor Roll for the ongoing success of its quality improvement initiatives. The Honor Roll recognizes hospitals whose performance is among the top 25% of hospitals measured nationally on a set of quality metrics. Additionally, the hospital ranks number 2 in the state for heart attack survival and number 31 out of 4,600 hospitals in the country. Marlborough Hospital was also a recipient of the 2009 Betsy Lehman Patient Safety Recognition Award. The Hillside School is celebrating a new addition as well, solar panels to their roof. If the system works as planned, during its first year of operation, it will save the school $11,000.
I think most people in town probably know more than anything else about Hillside. We have a working farm on campus, and so we certainly have a commitment to sort of keeping us environmentally sound.
The top of a hillside school building is now home to 611 solar panels, a project expected to help the environment save the school money and teach students about energy. The system officially started running last weekend.
So, you know, that term win-win situation, this is actually a win-win-win situation in that we're tying this to our program as well. So science classes are involved. There's a unit coming in which the kids will be able to monitor literally minute by minute the energy that's being produced, the money that's being saved, and so on. So economics classes can get involved with the study of what we're saving here as part of our overall budget.
Students can see how production changes, for example, with different weather patterns. Students can also use a mobile solar lab designed by Sunbug, a separate learning experience from the panel project that measures energy produced.
Moving from other forms of energy to something safer and cleaner like solar, certainly a priority for us. It was part of a strategic plan developed, and it was probably about a full year in the making, the project, and we're very happy to finally have it up and running.
The school estimates that the photovoltaic system will save more than 108 metric tons of carbon dioxide from entering the atmosphere each year. Sunbug worked with the school for a couple of months on the project setup. The two sides formed a financing model in which investors own the system at first, with the school buying electricity from the system at a reduced rate. Beecher came on board at the Hillside School 13 years ago, and at that time, changes needed to be made to move the school forward.
When I arrived in '98, we had, we were alive, we were kicking and still doing wonderful things for middle school boys, but we needed to make some significant changes to sustain the school. We made those changes, and we've been able to create a very healthy school in many respects, including financial.
Since then, there has been $25 million worth of upgrades and additions to the school, and they have doubled their enrollment, which currently they serve about 145 students.
We serve middle school boys, grades 5 through 9. We have roughly 2/3 boarding, 1/3 day students. We come from 15 states and 10 foreign countries.
There are not many junior boarding schools in the United States. Hillside is among 12 in the U.S. Hillside prides itself on who the school attracts each and every year.
There are lots of ways you can create good global education programs, but actually living in a global community, kids from all over the world, there's no better educational program than that.
So what's the attraction for students to come to Hillside from different countries?
Specifically, we've got a great ESL program, English as a Second Language program, so they're going to get specific training in how to speak and write English well. But more than that, families from abroad want their children in American education, the American education system, so they're looking for, the best places they can find.
Hillside attracts all types of male students from all different places with different backgrounds and different needs. But the goal is simple, to provide a nurturing environment for all to succeed.
Some come with specific issues, learning disabilities. They may have had some behavioral issues at previous schools. We have other kids that have none of those issues, that just want to be in a small, nurturing, family-style school. So it's a real diverse school, not just geographically, as we've talked about earlier, educationally, certainly different learning styles, but also a diverse school relative to those other issues. And so, yes, we have some kids that need some counseling or some extra support, and we have many that do not.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, the final 3-on-3 basketball tournament honoring the life of Arthur Lambert has come to an end. But first, we continue to go green with a press conference regarding a citywide event. We're back with that story after this sharp break. Please stay with us.
Hi, I'm Maurice Lewis, inviting you to join us for the Celebrity Author Series. We have author Elizabeth Benedict. She is absolutely fantastic. It's the Celebrity Author Series right here at the Marlborough Public Library, April the 27th, starting at 6:30 p.m.
She dealt with them on a personal basis, and she was very careful and courteous.
In 1901, newly elected mayor Walter Morse had a plan.
He determined or was advised that there were grants available through Mr. Carnegie.
Residents pitched in, donating money, books, and art. The Mechanics Institute donated its collection as a foundation, while the town appropriated $1,300.
It was said by a young fellow that was a pyromaniac, and I remember there were several factories that he set on fire. There was homes that he set on fire.
Not bad for a business that opened its doors in 1870.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. An annual event for the city is coming up at the end of this month, and after the winter we had this year, all residents are needed to ensure the success of Clean Sweep 2011. A press conference took place on Thursday afternoon.
I'm so pleased to be here this afternoon to announce Clean Sweep 2011. This year we will have our annual Clean Sweep event on Saturday, April 30th. We will be staging here at the DPW Municipal Garage at 135 Neal Street. I want to thank the DPW, the Recreation Commission, and the Conservation Commission for their help with this event. I have some of the committee members here with me. We have Commissioner LaFreniere, City Engineer Tom Cullen, Assistant Commissioner Tom Temple, Recreation Director Dave Grasso, our Streets Division Supervisor Ken Calder, and our Conservation Officer Priscilla Ryder. And we have another couple members of our committee that couldn't make it today, but we want to really encourage you to get out. Last year was a great event. We collected 7.82 tons of trash throughout the city. We all know that it's been a long, hard winter, and our streets, our sidewalks, and our parks are showing the signs of a really hard winter. We want to get out there and spruce this city up, make it the gem that it is, and show everybody what a great community we have. So I encourage you to show up here on Saturday, April 30th, 9 a.m. right here at the Municipal Garage, where we will stage the event. We will have all the supplies. We'll have refreshments here in the morning, and we hope to get a fantastic turnout. Check our website for further details, but again, Saturday, April 30th, at 9 a.m. right here at 135 Neal Street, the DPW Municipal Garage.
The annual Arthur Lambert 3-on-3 basketball tournament has come to an end. This year's tournament was greatly attended, and Karen Lambert, wife of Arthur, couldn't have been happier with the turnout and support.
It almost seems like yesterday that he was still here, you know? And then I look at Julia, who was a baby. She's 11. And it's when I look at her that it makes you realize how many years have passed.
It was an emotional time for the members of the Arthur Lambert 3-on-3 basketball tournament committee as the event's 10-year run came to an end last weekend. This year, the tournament featured a testimonial dinner as organizers brought a close to their main way of honoring Arthur Lambert, a longtime Marlborough resident. He was an aide to then Senate President Thomas Birmingham when he died in a car crash in December of 2000 at age 37. He left a wife, Karen, and daughter, Julia, who was just 10 months old at the time. Lambert had quite an emotional time as the event approached this year. She received messages from a lot of different people who knew her husband.
I mean, I keep getting notes in the mail, like, some of them are people that I don't even know personally, just saying, you know, that we've done such a great job and keep up the good work, and, you know, you guys are really doing something good. And, or else they tell me how they knew Arthur, you know, like we used to play basketball together, or I was a teacher or something.
For Julia Lambert, it's been a good way to learn about her father. Julia doesn't want this event to end, but the tournament committee planned since the beginning to only run it 10 times, so it would go out strong.
You know, everything has a time, and I felt like 10 years was a really good ending. And I wanted it to end when everything was really great. You know, I wanted it to be a big turnout. I didn't want it to fizzle out. I just wanted it to be something really positive, and it has.
Local charities, including the Boys and Girls Club of Metro West, will receive the proceeds. More and more studies are showing the link between your dental health and the health of your body. To ensure that our students are heading in the right direction, one local dentist headed into the schools for some Dental Health 101.
Just by a show of hands, can everyone tell me, has everyone seen a dentist here? Oh, good. You guys are going to be a smart group.
Dr. Sanjeev Nair visited the Jarwick Elementary School on Wednesday morning to make sure kids are taking care of their teeth. Dr. Nair feels as though community outreach is the best way to educate students about dental health.
In all of our mouths, they're very, very small, but we all have these things we're called little bugs in our mouth. And what they're called is germs. So what these dental bugs do is they like to stick to our teeth. And what they do is when they stick to our teeth is they form this layer called plaque. So now what happens when these bugs stick to our teeth, what do they end up doing? They end up eating away at our teeth. So these little bugs take little bites out of our teeth. And what does that form? It forms what's called cavities.
Today's parents can easily arm themselves with all of the tools and information they need to establish and maintain good oral hygiene habits in their children. Early dental care requires parents to acknowledge the habits that can lead to tooth decay and gum disease.
And how many times a day do you brush?
Twice.
You brush twice? When do you do it?
Morning and night.
Good job.
The goal is an early start teaching our children proper tooth and gum care and allowing them to reap the benefits of a healthy smile as they grow older.
But you notice if I go fast, I'm not going to get to it, right? He's still stuck there. So what we got to do is we got to take our time to get to all these areas, and we want to go over the same areas because sometimes we can get to them, sometimes we can't. But we're going to go over all the areas to make sure we get all those little bugs.
There are plenty of obvious culprits of tooth decay in youngsters. Starchy foods and sugary drinks stir up enamel-eroding acids in the mouth for 20 minutes after consumption. Multiply those 20 minutes by every snack your child eats in a day, and you will quickly see how vulnerable young teeth are to decay. Children who have never seen the dentist or do not have access to dental care can be particularly vulnerable to tooth decay. Parents can ask their dentist about appropriate brushes for children, as well as the proper amount of toothpaste to use with each brushing. Once parent and child has established a good preventative program with their dentist, including a home care program that includes brushing and flossing, proper nutrition, and fluoride guidance, a lifetime of healthy smiles can be looked forward to.
So this is what you guys are going to be doing at home, all right? You want to get all the surfaces of your teeth to make sure everything's nice and clean.
To take the dental health of our children one step further, Dr. Nair is offering his time in May for a free dental clinic. The clinic will be aimed at helping children without dental insurance get the oral health they deserve.
From cleanings to cavities to just education, across the board, we want that to improve.
Since the health of young children is the most important in every community, Dr. Sanjeev Nair, owner of Dental Associates, held his first free dental clinic last year and greatly supports free dental care events. This year's dental clinic will be held on May 21st.
We saw children that, some at age of 6, 7 that have never even seen a dentist before. So, in that respect, it was a little bit scary. In the fact that, unfortunately with, day-to-day lives, that hygiene isn't on that top priority. And seeing children with cavities and, for some of those that we did fillings on, it was nice to help them, but also a little worrisome on my end, the fact that it's, in this day and age, dental decay is that prevalent.
Children will receive free dental services such as dental fillings, general examinations, or dental cleanings.
Everything starts orally for me. There have been more and more research showing systemic problems starting from your oral health. So for me, it's also a little bit selfishness. If the way getting thank yous with tears, for me, makes it worthwhile.
Parents will also be glad to receive plenty of useful information about the child's dental care.
Really, the big thing is the brushing and flossing. But I think in this day and age where things get lost is really what they eat. It's surprising, but a lot of these fruit drinks, we all know that soda's bad, but really, honestly, a lot of these fruit drinks have more sugar than the colas, like the Gatorades and things like that. It's surprising.
Fun is also a part of the entire event. Therefore, plenty of playful programs will attract both children and their parents to this clinic of health and care.
It's the way they feel about coming to see the dentist or the way they take care of their teeth is going to take them on for the next years on how they care for themselves.
Those interested to find out more about this free dental clinic are advised to call the dental office at 508-485-1800. Coming up, a reporter from NECN will be speaking here next week, and we'll have your Pet of the Week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
This is Ducky Duck. Ducky Duck is really no different than you and I. You see, Ducky enjoys using Marlborough's rivers, streams, lakes, and ponds for travel, leisure, and even for drinking water. But Ducky needs your help. When humans mistake stormwater drains for sewers, it causes many problems. While sewers are connected to the plumbing in our houses, stormwater catch basins are completely separate and flow directly into our public water supply. Polluted waterways can affect the quality of our drinking water, our wildlife, and the overall health of our city. So when you discard trash, fertilizers, or oils into these drains, it's bad news for Ducky and for you. Help keep our waterways clean.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Peter Howe, business reporter for New England Cable News, will be the featured speaker at the next Marlborough Chamber of Commerce Distinguished Speakers Breakfast scheduled for this Tuesday, April 5th at 7:45 a.m. at the Best Western Royal Plaza Hotel. The event is open to all, and for more information, please visit marlboroughchamber.org or please call 508-485-7746.
Today we have Ginger, and Ginger is about as cute as can be, as you can see. She's a little terrier, we think probably Cairn Terrier, about 5 years old, spayed female. She's looking for a quiet adult home. She has a few little personality quirks that make her need a really special home. So if you're looking for more information on Ginger, please call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
Before we go, we just want to remind you that the city is warning drivers to expect delays on a portion of Route 85 in the coming months. A water main replacement project from Lincoln to Union Streets is scheduled to run from April through June. For more information, please call the Public Works Department at 508-624-6910 extension 7200. That's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now on Marlborough This Week, Synovian Pharmaceuticals and Employment Options teamed up to honor those who are suffering from mental illness. Attention all potential candidates, nomination papers for this year's municipal election will be available next week. Plus, NECN's business reporter Peter Howe spent some time in the city this week, and later in this half hour, preparing for success, the importance of submitting a cover letter. Those stories and more coming up right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin with Friday's reception at Synovian Pharmaceuticals, where members of Employment Options were honored.
A couple of months ago, a miracle happened to Employment Options. We got a call from Synovian, and they wanted to get to know what we do and who we are. And we saw that there was a lot of synergy between what we do, obviously, in mental health recovery and the kind of work that they do.
Friday morning's reception was hosted in partnership with Employment Options, a Marlborough-based nonprofit organization that provides comprehensive services to people recovering from mental illness.
It's so great to actually be able to give back to the community and to support the Employment Options Clubhouse. They do great work helping patients every day. With job skills, maybe even getting some employment. It's a place for them to go and have a chance to get themselves engaged back in society. And at Synovian, we're really, our mission is focused on helping patients, and this is just a great collaboration for us. And we're so pleased to be able to do it right here in the Marlborough area where we're from. And to have such a nice relationship with Employment Options.
At the event, members of the clubhouse showcased their personal artwork and spoke about achieving dignity, respect, and personal growth.
We have wonderful artists who really want to display their artwork and thought what a great opportunity this would be to be able to showcase the kind of work that our members do, to also educate their employees at Synovian about people with mental health issues are incredibly creative and have so much strength.
Rob spent a year and a half in a hospital after being diagnosed with schizophrenia. When he was released, he was introduced to the programs of Employment Options.
I was diagnosed with a mental illness in college, and I heard about the clubhouse environment that Employment Options delivers, and I had a tough time when I was diagnosed with a mental illness, and It was hard for me to hold a full-time job, but when I got to the clubhouse, they let me work at my own pace until I could gradually build up.
He is now employed by the organization using his skills as a database administrator and helps to produce videos to help teach others life skills. Jen is a parent who benefited from the Employment Options Parenting Services several years ago. In addition to her own mental health challenges, she has a son with cognitive disabilities.
They just basically helped me to kind of condense everything that I needed to do to take care of my son and his needs and my own needs and the needs of my daughters. We just kind of streamlined it, and it was really helpful.
Massachusetts State Senators Jamie Eldridge and Karen Spike also attended this event, as they have been strong supporters of the work of Employment Options. In addition to hosting the breakfast reception, Synovian recently assisted Employment Options with a financial donation of $50,000. This donation is part of the company's commitment to the clubhouse concept and helping people with mental illness.
The partnership keeps growing, and we're eager to continue this partnership over time.
The Finance Committee considered an amendment to the spending limit of a revolving fund Monday night, while it supported spending more money for police and fire training. The city has a revolving fund for public safety training with a spending limit of $45,000 for each fiscal year, unless otherwise authorized by the council and the mayor. The fund has extra money not spent last fiscal year, and public safety departments would like to utilize that money. Among the requests, police are looking to take advantage of taser training, while the fire department wants to do dive rescue and recovery training. Mayor Nancy Stevens asked the City Council to approve an amendment in the revolving fund language to increase the possible yearly spending to $75,000. But the Council's Finance Committee Monday night decided to ask the mayor for a new request that would simply increase those possible expenses to $75,000. The full City Council could approve an increase at its meeting this Monday night. Superintendent Anthony Pope outlined a proposed $50 million budget Tuesday night that includes major changes to the school department's leadership structure. Pope says he wants the district to spend more money efficiently and focus its spending on the classroom. The superintendent's proposed $49.8 million level services budget for fiscal year 2012, which begins July 1st, marks a 3% increase from the current one. Pope pushed for school department leaders, including principals, to have more classroom presence. The superintendent has proposed new leadership positions that would entail more work in schools rather than at central office. The school committee plans to hold a public hearing on the budget next Tuesday night, April 12th, and the committee intends to vote on the budget on April 26th. Pope plans to put Tuesday night's budget presentation on the school department website at mps-edu.org. He's also looking to schedule another community forum that will likely focus on the budget and the district's goals.
Nomination papers will become available this Monday. We spoke with City Clerk Lisa Thomas about the details this week regarding some new information that will be included in this year's packets.
There are some new things pertinent to campaign finance. We have found in the past that although we do provide a campaign finance guidebook for individuals running, we've brought to their attention some very important notes from that. One being that a candidate's treasurer cannot be a public employee. So we want to make sure that people, when they do choose a treasurer for their campaign finance, they are not choosing somebody that is a public employee. So we've tried to provide them with as much information as possible. Inclusive with that guidebook are some bulleted items that we want to bring to the folks' attention.
John Polanowitz, Marlborough Hospital's president, has been named president of a hospital in Brighton and will be leaving as soon as May. Polanowitz will take over from John Holliver, who will become president of Norwood Hospital.
As Marlborough Hospital looks to fill a vacancy, city officials described the president's departure as a loss for the medical center and this community. John Polanowitz, the hospital's president and CEO, was named president of St. Elizabeth's Medical Center in Brighton. Polanowitz has led Marlborough Hospital since 2003. The hospital recently announced plans to build an $11.7 million cancer care addition by 2013. Polanowitz's departure will not affect construction of the Cancer Care Pavilion. Over the next few weeks, UMass Memorial Healthcare will develop an interim leadership plan for the hospital. The organization then plans to launch a search for the next president and chief executive officer.
The Marlborough Traffic Commission will be holding an informational meeting next Wednesday, April 13th, about Bigelow Street's stop signs. The meeting is scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. at the Hillside School in the rear building near the dining hall. Bigelow Street area residents are welcome to attend the meeting to hear options for the possible removal of some of those stop signs on the road. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, a chance for small and large businesses to become more successful. But first, a breakfast reception to honor achievements from our local United Way. We're back with that story after this short break. Please stay with us.
WMCT-TV needs your help. Years ago, our archives took a hit, and now we don't have any old programming before 1996. If you have any old Marlborough cable programming, now's the time to bring it to the station at 91 Main Street. You know that old closet where you throw everything? Check in there. Oh! You're bound to find some old tapes in there. Check your junk drawers, attics, maybe even your garage. If you've appeared on TV here or had a child that played high school sports, chances are you have a few tapes hanging around. We'll give you a DVD for your trouble, and if you want back the old VHS, we can even show you what you can do with it. Whether it's your kids' varsity games for Marlborough High or Assabet, old newscasts, series programs, or even specials, we want them. Just call the station at 508-481-1373 and ask for Dan. Come on, find those tapes now.
Hi, I'm Maurice Lewis, inviting you to join us for the Celebrity Author Series. We have author Elizabeth Benedict. She is absolutely fantastic. It's the Celebrity Author Series right here at the Marlborough Public Library, April the 27th, starting at 6:30 p.m.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The United Way of Tri-County came together on Thursday morning to honor those who have helped the organization become what it is today. One Marlborough resident who was known in the community for his volunteer efforts was recognized with an award.
Thursday marked a day of celebration for the United Way of Tri-County as it revealed the 2010 campaign results at the Sheraton Framingham Hotel. This was a community celebration to thank generous donors and to show pride for local communities. Thursday's celebration focused on recognizing the accomplishments of workplace campaigns and highlighting specific individuals who have made a difference in the United Way family.
These are people that have committed their careers to doing good and helping in the community. And we're very fortunate to have these people working for us. They're very talented people that could do anything, anywhere. And I'm very pleased and I'm very grateful for the efforts that they put forward every day.
Joe Valiorati, a lifelong Marlborough resident, received a Lifetime Achievement Award. This award was given out to those who have worked throughout their careers to improve communities where we live and inspire others to give back and help those less fortunate.
I can remember being a little kid, working at 12, 13 years old. If you want something, you have to go after it. And you got to give people something.
The United Way focuses on 3 areas addressing alcohol and drug abuse, youth development, and community solutions. Each area has specific goals and works with numerous community partners to meet those goals.
You know, there's so many things that happen in the world that are bad, that when you have an opportunity to praise people and organizations for things that are good, I think it's worth the time.
For more information about the United Way, please visit their website at unitedwaytri-county.org.
To continue with another breakfast we covered this week, New England Cable News business reporter Peter House spoke at the Chamber's Distinguished Speaker Series. Howe touched upon topics such as the economy and business reporting.
The last time that I was in this exact building, it was with several hundred very angry Verizon workers who were about to go on strike. which sort of illustrates one of the things that I most love about the news business. You really never know who you're going to meet in a given day.
Peter Howe, business reporter for New England Cable News, was the featured speaker at the recent Distinguished Speakers Breakfast for the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce on Tuesday. Mr. Howe spoke about economic conditions and the outlook for 2011.
Thoughts about the economy generally, I don't think I've got a whole lot more insights than most people in this room, but you know, when you hear this sense of things are slowly and painfully kind of creaking back, and you know, the national unemployment rate is down to 8.8%. It's taken a long time to get there. And you know, is it 2013 or 2014 or 2015 before all the jobs we've lost come back? That's certainly what I see.
He also talked about the anatomy of a good business story and what it takes to get the attention of a business journalist.
What I find is a very helpful thing for business people and the PR people who work with them is to always be thinking about how the story of a given company fits into a bigger story that's underway now. How would you fit into globalization or using the web to reach customers and business partners?
Peter Howe has been NECN's business reporter since April of 2008, reporting each night for NECN Business and other NECN news programs. He came to NECN after 2 decades with the Boston Globe. Howe has covered the Massachusetts State House, the Big Dig, the Boston Harbor Cleanup, Boston City Hall, and business beats including airlines, energy, telecommunications, and technology. Next month, Attorney General Martha Coakley will be the featured speaker at this event.
Then it was off to First Tuesday Business Talks with the president of the chamber, Suzanne Morielli-Lieber. The aim of the gathering, which is held at the Main Street Cafe, is to network and discuss current business issues.
President and CEO of the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce, Suzanne Morielli-Lieber, spends most of her time at her office on Florence Street, right off of Main Street. But when she heard that some residents wanted to see more of her on Main Street, she decided to start a monthly group to accomplish just that.
I came to Main Street Cafe and I was talking to them, and I says, what if I host a group the first Tuesday of every month, just to talk about business issues.
The first Tuesday of every month, anywhere between 6 and 25 people gather at the Main Street Cafe to chat about what's currently helping and not helping their businesses.
Anybody can come, whether they're a chamber member or not. We've had elected officials, we've had candidates come. We talk about issues, about health care issues, we talk about employee issues, things that are affecting the general public.
This group takes the term networking to the next step.
Everybody talks about networking, everybody talks about making contacts. We're taking it to the next step. We're actually encouraging the relationship building that needs to happen to do business today.
At this week's meeting, Fidelity's announcement that they're taking jobs elsewhere did come up.
We talk about, as we did today, about the loss of jobs in our community, but also the positive side. And then I give them a sense of where they can come to find out a solution to their needs.
Recently, a connection was made just by a 10-minute conversation at one of the First Tuesday Business Talks.
Once you build that relationship, you're going to do business not once. You're going to do business over and over and over again because there's that trust factor.
Lieber invites chamber members and non-members to attend these First Tuesday Business Talks, which take place every month from 9 to 10:30 a.m. at the Main Street Cafe at 182 Main Street.
It's only an hour and a half, 9 to 10:30, or sometimes 9 to 10. It depends on the group. And then you make that relationship and you follow up with them. So we're educating the business community, the business people, how to make that relationship work to turn it into a profit for their own business.
Following First Tuesday Business Talks, it was off to our local career center to take a sneak peek at one of their workshops, which is all about cover letters. This workshop is free and is given at the center located at 201 Boston Post Road West.
It's essential now, and it can be the reason you're edited out.
Most applicants don't realize the importance of cover letters. Having one at hand can make you a more competitive job seeker.
With the cover letter workshop, what we talk about is, number one, why? Why do you send a cover letter? Do you need to send a cover letter? What's its purpose? And its purpose is it gives a reason as to why a resume is there.
Writing one is not as difficult as it may seem. It's an opportunity for potential candidates to speak directly to the hiring manager.
It used to be that resumes did not require having cover letters with them, but they do. They're important. They have to be brief. They have to be to the point. They have to have a structure. And it is actually a good thing because it's another opportunity to sell yourself, to merchandise yourself in front of potential employers or people who are doing hiring.
The length of a cover letter should never exceed a page. The point is to give a little taste of who you are and to entice the reader to keep looking.
First impressions are formed from cover letters as they are from resumes, or they are in person or by voice interviews. It's very important that it be presented with balance and proper spacing and look right.
The important element to remember is to not make the page too busy. If the interviewer is looking at your cover letter, you don't want them to have to use an index to find your information. It's essential to keep your letter clean-cut but still attractive.
I'm often told, or I have been told, by hiring managers and HR departments that in this situation today where they receive so many resumes with cover letters, what they'll do is they'll look at the cover letter first, and if it doesn't meet expectations or if it isn't what it should be, the client's dismissed.
For more information regarding this workshop or the others at our local career center, please call 508-786-0928. Speaking of careers, the Boys and Girls Club of Metro West hosted their annual teen job fair on Thursday night to expose teens looking for employment to employers looking to hire currently or for the summer. Young adults looking for a job set their sights high on the Boys and Girls Club of Metro West Thursday night. The organization, working with the Metro Southwest Regional Employment Board, hosted its 10th annual Teen Job Fair at the Marlborough Clubhouse at 169 Pleasant Street.
We started the fair 10 years ago at another Boys and Girls Club in Maynard, and it didn't go so well. We had 10 companies and about 12 students show up. And I was moving over to the Marlborough Club to take the position as a teen center director, and we thought we'd give it another chance and see what it was like in Marlborough in a bigger community.
The fair provides many opportunities for young adults searching for summer, weekend, or after-school jobs.
In the first year, it just took right off. We had over 100 students, and over the last 9 years, we've built on it every year. And today, we're expecting 250 high school students from all over the Metro West area. And this year we have 18 different employers.
The Boys and Girls Club of Metro West was also looking for summer counselor positions and held interviews.
Before the economy kind of went down a little bit, it was a little easier to get companies to come in. We actually had too many companies one year. The gym was overfilled. Lately it's been a little more difficult to get companies to come in, so we really appreciate the ones that do show up.
Each year the event is open to those who are at least 16 years old.
Before the job fair, to give the kids some education and experience, where if they don't get a job, at least they take something from this. We provide them with an interview skills workshop ahead of time. We have an HR professional from St. Mary's Credit Union that hosts that, and they do a great job. So at least, even if they don't leave here with a job, they're going to leave here with some thoughts about next time, what can I do better to be more prepared, to dress nicer, to have my application ready to go with all the information I might need in it, and if possible, have a resume.
About 250 people from Marlborough, Hudson, and other local communities attended this year's fair.
Be able to pick from a pool of 250 high school students, you're going to get the best of the best. You're going to get the students that are really there for a job. They're going to be there to help your company out, not just make a couple bucks, but they want to have some experience in the workforce.
Coming up, a luncheon for the seniors of this community to kick off spring, and we'll have your pet of the week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
She dealt with them on a personal basis, and she was very careful and courteous.
In 1901, newly elected Mayor Walter Morse had a plan.
He determined or was advised that there were grants available through Mr. Carnegie.
Residents pitched in, donating money, books, and art. The Mechanics Institute donated its collection as a foundation, while the town appropriated $1,300.
It was set by a young fellow that was a pyromaniac, and I remember there were several factories that he set on fire, there was homes that he set on fire.
Not bad for a business that opened its doors in 1870.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Signs of Spring led the Senior Center to hold a luncheon this past week to offer up the opportunity to hear from residents as to what they want out of their senior center as we enter into the warmer months. We spoke with the Council on Aging Director, Jennifer Claro, to find out more.
What it is, it's allowing us to have an opportunity to have seniors fill out a personal assessment and a survey of what kind of activities they would like to see here at the Senior Center, so we can better serve our seniors here in Marlborough. Just a kickoff to spring and a kickoff to just trying to find out more about the seniors here and what their interests are, and just make it a great place to come and participate in activities that they want to see here and that they enjoy, and can build new relationships.
Today we have Renzo, and Renzo is a true Puerto Rican street dog. He was living on the street, and he was the group leader of a large group of dogs, and he was their protector, and he made sure they had food and took care of them and protected them from everything out there on the streets. He is a very, very friendly dog. He's strong. He's good with some other dogs. He's been here for just a little while, so we're just getting to know him, and we think he's a great dog. So if you're interested in Renzo or any of the other dogs and cats at Buddy Dog, please feel free to call us at 978-443-6990.
And before we go, the Marlborough Public Library is about to celebrate a national event with resident incentives and programs for children. The Marlborough Public Library will celebrate National Library Week next week from April 10th through the 16th with breaks on fines and a special event. Fines for overdue materials returned during this week will be waived. The library located at 35 West Main Street will also waive previous fines if users donate one non-perishable and unexpired food or personal care item for each $1 in fines. Those items benefit the Marlborough Food Pantry. The library cannot waive lost item costs, interlibrary loan fines, museum pass fines, and replacement fees. In addition, the library will host a special children's program on Monday, April 11th at 6:30 p.m. For more information, please call the library at 508-624-6900. That's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, focus groups led by the MEDC were held to help with Marlborough's master plan. 8 students received recognition for their hard work on a real-world design challenge. Plus, a single mom of 2 makes time to train for this year's marathon. And later in this half hour, networking your way to your dream job. Those stories and more are coming up right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin with this week's MEDC focus groups that took place at the Massachusetts International Academy.
Everybody is open and freely discussing the issues, and everybody's participating, and it's been excellent discussions from everybody.
The city's economic development master plan process is well underway as 13 focus group meetings were held this week. The intent of the meetings was to engage people from all sectors of the city to gather valuable input while creating this plan.
Part of the questioning to solicit people's input is to ask them what they think are good things about Marlborough and what are the bad things, and what are things that need to be addressed as part of our economic development plan. So there are some issues that obviously Marlborough needs to work on. But there are a lot of positive things that were coming out of it. The permitting process, by and large, has been found very good. Relationships with the city government have been very positive. So there have been a lot of good things that have come out of this, and I think the consultants will use this as the first part of the input that will go into developing community goals as part of the economic development plan.
The objective of the master planning process is to produce an economic development strategy, which will establish both community goals for the future economic development of Marlborough and an economic development action plan that will identify actions that will be necessary to ensure that the goals are achieved. While there are many facets to the planning process, a primary objective is to fill vacant commercial space and attract new developments to assure stabilized residential real estate taxes over the long term. 13 meetings were held on Wednesday and Thursday, April 13th and 14th at the Massachusetts International Academy at 280 Lock Drive. The meetings were run by members of the consulting team headed by FXM Associates, who are assisting the MEDC with the preparation of the master plan.
They're very skilled in analyzing property values, trends in property values, and identifying market segments that are active, market segments that are not so active. And so they're kind of looking at the overall picture. They're the lead consultant on our study.
Over 200 individuals who live and work in Marlborough had the opportunity to give direct input to the consultants. A wide collection of Marlborough residents, business owners, and workers were in attendance.
Very open, not pulling any punches. People are telling it as it is. And again, surprisingly, we're finding, I shouldn't say surprising, but to my surprise, most things are very positive. People really enjoy being in Marlborough, the people who are here. Location has definitely come up as a very important factor in their choice. The availability of space to lease and to buy is definitely a factor in locating businesses here. And access to employment base is very important in Marlborough, so an asset to Marlborough. So a lot of people are very happy with their location here.
Many well-known business leaders, including owners of some of the city's key commercial businesses, participated, in addition to the city's political leaders and top local officials. The next opportunity for the public to have direct input in this process will happen in May, when the MEDC will host an open public forum on Saturday, May 21st.
It's 8:30 a.m. at the Marlborough High School. It's going to be a 4-hour session, but there'll be different activities, so people don't have to come for the full 4 hours. They may come later, they may come early. They could be able to pick out the items that they want to attend and participate in.
Attendance will be open to the general public, and it is hoped that about 200 to 300 people will participate. The forum will offer the public an opportunity to learn more about the master plan process and offer opinions and ideas to the consultants. Beyond the focus group meetings and the open public forum, consultants are working on a public survey which will be available to everyone who either lives or works in Marlborough.
This gives them kind of the human input in terms of the numbers. Instead of looking at just numbers, well, sales are up 2% and employment's down 3%. This way they get to put a face to it, and they hear personal experiences from business owners and property owners and residents of the community. So it all will go again into developing those goals for the community.
The City Council Monday night voted to take future councilors out of the city's health care and pension systems, but it's unclear if the mayor will give the proposal the necessary support. Ward 3 City Councilor Matt Elder's proposal, written as a home rule petition, requires the backing of the mayor, as well as the state legislature. New councilors elected on or after November 1st would not be eligible for the city's health care and pension systems under the proposal. Earlier in the evening, neighbors spoke out against a developer's latest proposal to renovate the Walker Estate, citing worries about increased housing and traffic in the area. Melanson Development Group is seeking a special permit from the City Council to transform the estate's vacant house and barn at 93 Framingham Road into 7 condominiums. The plan also includes building 7 single-family homes around the property. During Monday night's public hearing, 40 residents packed the City Council chambers and said the newest proposed development could alter the character of the neighborhood. Residents stated that they would prefer single-family homes. Superintendent Anthony Pope said at the school committee Tuesday night that a sizable planning grant will help a new science, technology, engineering, and mathematics academy take root in the fall. Marlborough received about $120,000 for a 4-year period, one of only 6 school districts to be awarded a grant. The academy will open next school year with a group of about 100 sixth graders and 75 ninth graders. Then on Wednesday morning, the committee met for a special meeting to discuss the budget. Superintendent Pope talked about his plan to alter the district's leadership structure, but some school committee members showed concern about how to make it all work. Pope has proposed a $49.8 million level services budget for fiscal year 2012, a 3% increase from the current year. The proposal includes new positions that would shift work from offices to the classrooms. Pope says he hopes to get a more detailed budget proposal on the school department's website at mps-edu.org by this weekend. The school committee plans to vote on the budget at its April 26th meeting following a public hearing. In addition, Pope has scheduled the Community Budget Forum for Monday, April 25th at 7:30 p.m. in the District Education Center located at 17 Washington Street. A team of 8 Marlborough High School students received recognition from local and state officials on Monday in celebration of a state championship won by the group in a real-world design challenge. The team is heading to Washington, D.C. this weekend for the national competition.
As government leaders, educators, industry professionals, mentors, and parents, not only are we here to celebrate your accomplishments, but your industrious spirit, your willingness to work collaboratively on a common problem, and the joy of learning. Congratulations on a job well done, and good luck in Washington, D.C.
The Real World Design Challenge is an annual competition that provides high school students an opportunity to work on real-world engineering challenges in a team environment. Students utilize professional engineering software both to develop their solutions and to generate presentations that convey their conclusions.
The Marlborough school system here at the high school, we definitely have a very strong engineering system. Mr. Duplessis teaching the CAD, or Mr. Hansard teaching more of the other engineering courses. And the teaching definitely helped to get us on our way. But what really helped was the dedication of the faculty. The faculty was always ready to step aside, put their own time aside. Teachers would stay with us after school for hours on end working on this project. They would be working on weekends. We'd be communicating at all times, phone call and email, and just trying to get this done. And the dedication of the faculty was really what made this possible and important.
Participating teams first compete in a state-level Governor's Cup Challenge. The group with the best design in each state gets an all-expenses-paid trip to Washington, D.C. to compete in the national finals. A driving force behind Marlborough's entry into this competition was Bob Stetson, owner of Marlborough Airport.
This meeting in particular was very special. There was a lot of important people here, and it was great to have it because it's about time that we get recognized. The people who aren't in the sports, that's not mainstream, get recognized for something that's essentially very important.
This year's task was to design a more efficient wing for a 737 jet. Specifically, competing teams were asked to improve both operational performance and fuel efficiency.
It took many hours, but they were able to put it into the computer and to test it with various tests on PTC.
The group opted to incorporate dimples on the surface of the wing after seeing a television program that demonstrated the positive impact of dimples on an automobile design.
What we actually wanted to do was to develop the strengths of all the students and utilize their own individual strengths. So the freshmen and the sophomore worked on the organizing and learning the different terminology for the whole project, and then the seniors worked on the software and did a lot of the drafting and a lot of the physics and mathematical work. So we were able to utilize the science, technology, engineering, and math skills that they all had.
While credit was directed primarily at the students this week for their hard work, there were a number of adults who participated in the effort in one capacity or another and were recognized on Monday as well.
Our physics department is second to none. The drafting department and the technology engineering department is fantastic. So I'm really proud of the students, but really the the teachers and the mentors, they really deserve a lot because they worked very, very closely with the students as well.
Lieutenant Governor Timothy Murray was also among those in attendance on Monday. Murray commended the RWDC program and the achievements of participating students across the nation as a step in the right direction. Teams from 30 states are expected to compete in the national championship this weekend.
We're going down to Washington, and the member from PTC here mentioned all the blue ribbon judges, all these executives that are going to be there on the panels. So we're really going to have to bring our best game and really put together a good presentation.
Presentations will take place on Saturday with 3 finalists chosen before a winner is selected.
This is world-class stuff. Our students have an opportunity to represent the state of Massachusetts, and what it shows is we have currently great programs within our school district, and our goal is to build on those programs. So we're very excited for our children, and this just gives us an opportunity to grow in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and math.
Judging will take into account both technical proficiency and presentation skills, which will be weighed equally before a champion is named.
They all worked very hard on it, and I'm extremely proud of these actually 8 students that I have. They're very, very, very proud.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, National Library Week continues with incentives for residents. But first, Christine Johansson, a single mom of 2, will fulfill a dream this Patriots Day at the Boston Marathon. We're back with that story after this short break. Please stay with us.
WMCT-TV needs your help. Years ago, our archives took a hit, and now we don't have any old programming before 1996. If you have any old Marlborough cable programming, now's the time to bring it to the station at 91 Main Street. You know that old closet where you throw everything? Check in there. Oh! You're bound to find some old tapes in there. Check your junk drawers, attics, maybe even your garage. If you've appeared on TV here or had a child that played high school sports, chances are you have a few tapes hanging around. We'll give you a DVD for your trouble, and if you want back the old VHS, we can even show you what you can do with it. Whether it's your kids' varsity games for Marlborough High or Assabet, old newscasts, series programs, or even specials, we want them. Just call the station at 508-481-1373 and ask for Dan. Come on, find those tapes now.
Hi, I'm Maurice Lewis, inviting you to join us for the Celebrity Author Series. We have author Elizabeth Benedict. She is absolutely fantastic. It's the Celebrity Author Series right here at the Marlborough Public Library, April the 27th, starting at 6:30 p.m.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Christine Johansson, a Marlborough resident, is running in this year's Boston Marathon. Christine spoke with us about why she's running, what motivates her to keep on going when days get tough, and why others should do the things that they think they can't.
There's nothing magical about 26.2 miles. It's all just, it's just commitment and doing the work.
Christine Johansson is the perfect example of how you can accomplish anything you put your mind to. A lifelong resident of Marlborough, Christine attended Marlborough High School, graduated in 1988. She left the area for about 10 years, but has since been here raising her 2 daughters. Being a single mom with 2 children and a career makes it tough to think of anything else, let alone running a marathon. But that's exactly what Christine has taken on.
I just really want to make this goal. You know, I want to see what it's like. I don't want to live my life and never have run a marathon. It's something that I've wanted to do my whole life. It's been sort of in the back of my mind. I've taken my girls to see the marathon every year that we've lived here. And while it's fun watching, you know, you're always thinking, what would it be like to be out there?
After being involved in sports in high school and college, Christine missed the sports aspect of her life. And after participating in the Marlborough Triathlon last year, Christine knew this is what she'd been missing.
It was such a huge part of my life when I was in high school and in college. Even though I was never good at it, I always joked in high school that the only reason they kept me on the cross-country team was somebody had to come in last.
Johansson has never been inactive, but training for a marathon has taken her fitness goals to a whole new level. Christine has been pleasantly surprised with how her body has adapted despite feelings of self-doubt.
The thing that has amazed me most is how flexible the body is and how much it will adapt to whatever you throw its way.
Christine has one of the busiest lives out there, but yet she's taken this goal upon herself to complete, and all who meet her can see that she will not only complete this goal, but she will do so with a smile.
Physically, it's not like, it's not like I'm any more genetically capable of doing this than anyone else. It's a matter of putting your mind to it and just doing the work.
This goal has had several positive impacts on Christine's life.
I think one of the huge things for me during this has been the impact it's had on my kids, and having them watch me not just commit to an athletic endeavor, to running the marathon, but also commit to fundraising for children's. I committed when I got in this to raising $5,000. So they've watched me do that and do it pretty well. I've actually exceeded my goal at this point. I'm at about $5,500.
Not only are her daughters more intrigued by fitness, but Christine is more focused and has become to rely on running as her motivation to get through the day.
When you wake up in the morning, if things aren't going your way with, the kids are fighting or the dog is barking or whatever, work is crazy, you still get that long run to look forward to, or that speed workout that you did really well the weekend before. And it's just given me that extra little, it's the spring in your step.
Christine has come so far through her current journey of training for a marathon, and she feels as though it has given her a new look on life.
It changes the way you feel about yourself. It changes the way you feel about the world and what you can do. Now it's not, I can't do that. It's, do I want to do that?
Before you head to Boston for Monday's marathon, you might want to visit your local library first. The library celebrated National Library Week this past week with programs for children and incentives for adults, which are still going on. The Marlborough Public Library celebrated National Library Week this week with breaks on fines and a special event.
It's been a great opportunity for people to come back to the library and to rediscover their library, and for people who regularly visit us to use the library as well.
The library at 35 West Main Street also waived previous fines if users donated one non-perishable and unexpired food or personal care item. The items will benefit the Marlborough Food Pantry.
It's a celebration of libraries, but it's also a celebration of our staff, and it's Staff Appreciation Week as well. So we're all wearing buttons that say Libraries Heart of the Community, and we had a pizza party and other events for our staff as well to celebrate them, and also to acknowledge how hard they work for the citizens of Marlborough and serving them.
If you did happen to visit the library this week, you may have noticed some untimely construction to the roof of the facility. Although it wasn't the best time for this construction, this is long overdue and staff is welcoming the convenience.
I'm sure many of our patrons know that we've suffered from leaks over the years, and we're finally, thanks to the city, getting a new roof. So construction has been going off and on for a while now, but really focused now that the weather is improving. They're focused on completing the project, and we hope it's completed within the next week, but we're really very happy about the progress that's being made.
For the past couple of weeks, we've been showing you the great workshops that are available at your local career center. Last week, we talked about why a cover letter is so important to your job search. This week, it's all about networking. We spoke with Norma Brandt, who facilitates this workshop to help residents get back into the workforce.
What you're trying to do with networking is just create connections with people, and it's an exchange of information.
Everyone says the key to finding a new job is networking, but how do you do that when so many of your contacts are also out of work? First, you need to expand your circle of contacts. But even before that, develop a career plan that maps out what you'd like to do professionally 2, 5, 10, and even 20 years down the road.
The first step is always here. You always have to do self-assessment. Find out who you are, what are all the skills, abilities that I have, and the accomplishments. And then you have to figure out who needs those skills, which ones are selling today. Then once you've decided who you are and where you're trying to go, then you want to have a targeted job search, meaning find those companies out there or industries who need the skills that you're bringing to the table.
When you first speak to a new contact, avoid asking directly if they know of any job openings.
Most people today seem to, they know the terminology, they've heard about networking, and they know it's kind of talking to people. But what they don't know is that the way in which we do networking, make those connections has changed, and certainly technology is one of the biggest reasons why it has changed.
If you find someone who's worked at a company you're interested in, ask if you can chat briefly with them about the firm.
You really have to find people who are on the inside track at those companies, and especially the key people, the decision makers, hiring managers. If you can connect with those people, you stand a much better chance of being noticed above the stack that comes this deep through HR.
After someone connects you to a source or refers you to a job, send a thank you note or email. This does more than just show your appreciation. It keeps you fresh in their mind, which means they may think of you for another job opening.
It works for both sides. And again, that's why it's so important today that you spend most of your time networking, finding the people. Once you decide where you're trying to go, you got to find the people who can help you get there.
A great place to start to get you back into the workforce is coming into your local career center.
I think the number one mistake that people make is not getting up-to-date information on how the process has changed. That's the biggest place people spend a lot of wasted time. You do a resume, you think the way you were taught to do a resume 20 years ago is the same way we're doing them today. And if you don't know that they've changed and the way we use them has changed, you're going to be wasting a lot of critical time.
The Career Center, located at 201 Boston Post Road West, offers other workshops in addition to the Networking Works class. We met with Carla Normandin, the Career Center manager, to learn more.
We have a wonderful staff. Everyone is very caring, very concerned, wanting all of the customers that come in, the job seekers who come in, to get back to work as soon as they can. We do everything we can to help get you through the process of learning those skills you need to be able to land that job.
Chances are there's a good job out there for you, but no matter how bright the job market may be, great jobs don't come looking for you. You need to go find them.
Everything has changed so much in the last, say, 20 years. It's a different process to find employment than it was. And if you've been at a job maybe 15, 20, 25, 30 years and you get laid off, you're kind of stunned when you find out. You just don't put a resume in an envelope and send it anymore.
Career counseling is an effective way to get through a career change. Sometimes you don't always have everything figured out, and it takes a while to understand what you really want. Career coaching or career centers are invaluable resources for career counseling at any stage. Locally, there's a career and resource center that you can take full advantage of for free.
Well, our Career Center is one of 34 in the state, and we are here for any job seeker who is hoping to get back to work as soon as possible.
Workshops, one-on-one counseling, and resources are available for any resident that walks through the doors. Anyone who has attended a workshop walks away with valuable information, especially when it comes to computers.
They'll come in, learn a lot of the basic computer skills that perhaps they have, but everything has moved along. If you were using an older version of Microsoft Office, there's new versions now which we teach, and people can take those and upgrade their skills. If they don't have good computer skills, they can start with the very basics. And then the other workshops we offer help them to learn how to look for jobs on the internet, how to attach their resumes to perhaps emails or job postings, or how to go through the whole process of applying for things through the internet.
Now let's get some smart moves you can make right away to get the job you've always wanted. Smart job move number 1 is network.
We do have a couple of workshops teaching people how to do that, how to network, how to promote themselves.
Smart job move number 2 is research the company you are interested in.
Learn as much as you can about the company, because the more you know about the company, when they say to you, what can you tell us, what do you know about us, you have really good answers. You can talk about the company. So that's very important, to prepare yourself, not only knowing how to answer the typical questions, but also knowing a lot about the company.
And finally, on an interview, portray controlled energy.
You can't be so laid back that people think there's nothing there, but you also can't be jumping out of your chair. So you have to be able to show that you have energy and interest and you want the job. That's the other thing. A lot of people don't express that. They don't say, I'm very interested in this position. I think it's a good fit for me. Those are things that people want to hear. They want to know that you're interested.
Coming up, details regarding Clean Sweep 2011, and we'll have your Pet of the Week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
She dealt with them on a personal basis, and she was very careful and courteous.
In 1901, newly elected Mayor Walter Morse had a plan.
He determined or was advised that there were grants available through Mr. Carnegie.
Residents pitched in, donating money, books, and art. The Mechanics Institute donated its collection as a foundation, while the town appropriated $1,300.
It was set by a young fellow that was a pyromaniac, and I remember there were several factories that he set on fire, there was homes that he set on fire.
Not bad for a business that opened its doors in 1870.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Clean Sweep 2011 is just around the corner. All city residents are needed this year to help clean up after this long, hard winter.
I'm so pleased to be here this afternoon to announce Clean Sweep 2011. This year we will have our annual Clean Sweep event on Saturday, April 30th. We will be staging here at the DPW Municipal Garage at 135 Neal Street. I want to thank the DPW, the Recreation Commission, and the Conservation Commission for their help with this event. I have some of the committee members here with me. We have Commissioner LaFreniere, City Engineer Tom Cullen, Assistant Commissioner Tom Temple, Recreation Director Dave Grasso, our Streets Division Supervisor Ken Calder, and our Conservation Officer Priscilla Ryder. And we have another couple members of our committee that couldn't make it today, but we want to really encourage you to get out. Last year was a great event. We collected 7.82 tons of trash throughout the city. We all know that it's been a long, hard winter, and our streets, our sidewalks, and our parks are showing the signs of a really hard winter. We want to get out there and spruce this city up, make it the gem that it is, and show everybody what a great community we have. So I encourage you to show up here on Saturday, April 30th, 9 a.m. right here at the Municipal Garage, where we will stage the event. We will have all the supplies. We'll have refreshments here in the morning, and we hope to get a fantastic turnout. Check our website for further details, but again, Saturday, April 30th, at 9 a.m. right here at 135 Neal Street, the DPW Municipal Garage.
Today we have Riley, and Riley is an adorable 13-week-old lab mix puppy. He's going to be a lot of work, but he's going to be a lot of fun. Not house trained yet, but he does have all his vaccines, and he's been started on his heartworm preventative, and medically he's ready to go. So if you'd like to find out about Riley or any of the other dogs and cats that we have here at Buddy Dog, please feel free to call us at 978-443-6990.
And before we go, we'd like to remind you that our station has a Facebook page. Please look it up under WMCT-TV and become a fan. We post videos and the latest news you need to know. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough This Week, the 31st Annual Senior Conference took place on Thursday, thanks to State Senator Jamie Eldridge. An interim leader has been named for Marlborough Hospital, plus one Marlborough resident completed Monday's marathon with a smile. And later in this half hour, how to make a good first impression. Those stories and more coming up right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin with the annual Senior Conference.
State Senator Jamie Aldridge hosted the 31st Annual Senior Conference on Thursday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Assabet Valley Regional Technical High School. This was the third time that Senator Aldridge has hosted the long-standing event.
Just so great to see the seniors, for them to learn more about some of the programs they can access through the state and other programs. And also, it's just wonderful to see seniors catch up with each other who haven't seen each other in many years.
The Free for All Seniors features a wide variety of services, workshops, food, and entertainment. The conference, an annual tradition in the district since 1979, provides vital information to seniors. Workshops cover a wide variety of topics such as property tax relief, identity theft, estate planning, coping with Alzheimer's, and aging in place.
A lot of them are looking for a bigger tax break from their property taxes because it's more and more hard for them to pay their property taxes.
In addition to workshops on serious issues facing seniors, the event offers a host of educational and entertaining presentations such as chair yoga, Zumba, and Victorian medicine. Chair yoga was a new addition to this year's conference.
Yoga is an ancient science that has been more popular recently. And I think the medical profession has also determined that it lowers blood pressure and it's good for a lot of physical symptoms that seniors and all people have.
Yoga is a low-impact exercise with many benefits.
Our health and wellness is important. If we wait until we get sick, then, that's a whole different situation. But, yoga, again, strengthens our whole metabolism in our bodies, minds, and spirits, and keeps us moving and strong, and moving forward and flexible, and keeps us connected, so that we don't, have a lot of anxiety or stress in our lives, which we all do, but it just gives us a way to deal with it better.
Katie enjoyed her time at the conference and thinks this event is an excellent opportunity for seniors.
If they experience it and they walk away after just 20 minutes or 30 minutes and they feel the benefits, they feel the endorphins, they feel the stretch and the openings in their bodies, they'll say, hey, that felt really good, I should try that again. And I get responses like that all the time.
Senator Aldridge will also be conducting 2 meetings next week for those who are looking for answers when it comes to state budget programs. Senator Aldridge will be hosting 2 community budget hearings this year to give constituents an opportunity to learn more about the state budget process and voice their thoughts and concerns. Members of the community are invited to testify on how state budget programs affect their lives and what they would like to see in this year's state budget. The first hearing will be held next Wednesday, April 27th from 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the Acton Senior Center at 50 Audubon Drive. The second hearing will be held the following day from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Employment Options, the Clubhouse Dining Room at 82 Brigham Street in Marlborough. For more information, please contact Senator Aldridge's office at 617-722-1120. Marlborough Hospital has chosen an interim leader since John Polanowitz made his announcement that he's moving on to a different hospital in May. Marlborough Hospital named an interim leader on Wednesday to replace its departing president. Douglas Brown, Senior Vice President and General Counsel of UMass Memorial Healthcare, will begin a transition into the interim role immediately. He expects to start working at the hospital within the next couple of weeks. Brown, who's been with the UMass Memorial System for 8 years, will continue his current job while at Marlborough Hospital. Marlborough Hospital President and CEO John Polanowitz is moving on to St. Elizabeth's Medical Center in Brighton on May 6th. Brown of Sherborne said he will probably be in the interim spot for about 6 months until a new leader is found. He does not intend to apply for the permanent post. Brown admitted that the dual roles will be challenging, but he will have support in both positions. He plans to work out of Marlborough about 4 days a week and in his Worcester office 1 day. A search committee led by Richard Bennett, chairman of Marlborough Hospital's Board of Trustees, will choose the hospital's new leader. Polanowitz has led Marlborough Hospital since 2003. The hospital, which is licensed for 79 beds, recently announced plans to build an $11.7 million cancer care addition by 2013. Brown will be responsible for making sure that project stays on track. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, a workshop at your local career center to help you deal with stress. But first, Christine Johansson made it through Monday's marathon, and she's back with quite a story. We're back with that story after this short break. Please stay with us.
Hi, I'm Maurice Lewis, inviting you to join us for the Celebrity Author Series. We have author Elizabeth Benedict. She is absolutely fantastic. It's the Celebrity Author Series right here at the Marlborough Public Library, April the 27th, starting at 6:30 p.m.
She dealt with them on a personal basis, and she was very careful and courteous.
In 1901, newly elected mayor Walter Morse had a plan.
He determined or was advised that there were grants available through Mr. Carnegie.
Residents pitched in, donating money, books, and art. The Mechanics Institute donated its collection as a foundation, while the town appropriated $1,300.
It was set by a young fellow that was a pyromaniac, and I remember there were several factories that he set on fire, there was homes that he set on fire.
Not bad for a business that opened its doors in 1870.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The Marlborough marathoner who we featured on last week's news completed the course from Hopkinton to Boston on Monday. We spoke with her Tuesday morning to see how she did.
It was amazing going through the streets for 26.2 miles and having 500,000 people be rooting you on, you know, to get you to your goal, whatever your goal was. It was so cool.
Christine Johansson finished the Boston Marathon on Monday with a time of 4 hours, 9 minutes and 55 seconds, with an average pace of 9 minutes and 32 seconds.
It was the best day ever. It was, 26.2 miles of just like one awesome experience after another.
Christine placed 17,932 out of 24,338 runners. In her division, she placed 1,383 out of 1,843. As she began her journey from Hopkinton to Boston, the starting line was among her most treasured moments.
It was amazing standing there with them, just thinking how many hours. Everybody had put the same amount of, hours and effort and energy into getting to the start line, and everybody was chattering about like what their goals were, and I was standing with people who were gonna qualify and people who were gonna walk half of it, but for everybody, there was this feeling that they had worked so hard for this day, and here it was. We were all gonna do it or not do it, whatever happened, happened.
Despite not knowing what to expect going into this running event, Christine had several goals, but along the way reset those expectations as she continued to deal with water consumption, dodging walkers, and dealing with Heartbreak Hill.
My mantra, which for the first 22 miles was strong and ready. You're strong and ready. And now my mantra was left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. And that's all I could do. It was just, it was the most awesome pain I've ever experienced. And I've had 2 kids. So it was really bad.
One of her main goals was to complete the marathon under 4 hours. When she realized that achieving this goal may not happen, she assured herself that whatever happens, it happens for a reason.
I just kept telling myself every step of the way, just remember that right now that you couldn't do any better than you are right now. You're giving it your full effort. Don't doubt that, come tomorrow. And I totally don't.
Another memory that will forever be implanted into Christine's mind was turning right onto Hereford Street as she began to cry because she was so close to achieving her goal of crossing the finish line.
I had envisioned that turn so many times, and now I was making it. And failing to reach the goal at that point was just not an option. It wasn't going to happen. I was actually going to cross the finish line.
Then she did it. She crossed the finish line at the 115th Boston Marathon.
It was pride that I had done it, and also I thought, wow, I can't wait to do that again.
Okay, so despite all that she went through to get where she is today, yes, she will do the marathon once again next year. But before she does that, she has quite the lineup of events this year, including a half Ironman that will take place in June. A half Ironman is a swim, bike, and run. That's a 1-mile swim, a 56-mile bike ride, and a 13.1-mile run.
I guess it's the next impossible thing. You know, when I started this out, the sprint try here in Marlborough seemed like an impossible thing, and it wasn't, and I did pretty well. And then the Boston Marathon seemed impossible, and it wasn't, and I did that yesterday. So now it's on to the half Ironman.
Christine admits events like these are no easy task. It's hard work and dedication, but she says if you want to do it, start today.
If you've decided that this is something that you want to do, then do it now. You know, you don't know if you're going to be around for, 2012, 2013, 2014. Just do it now, and don't try to be perfect about it. Just get out there and do it.
Looking back at Monday's marathon, the one memory that tops them all is the support she has received from her family.
Everybody sacrificed so that I could do this. My little brother watched the girls. My girls endured really boring weekends while Mom had 3-hour runs, and everybody got me there, and it was such a metaphor for the experience. They had literally gotten me to the start line, and figuratively gotten me to the start line. That was I'll never forget that.
Stress is something we all have to cope with, but when you lose a job, stress is even more of an issue. At our local career center, located at 201 Boston Post Road West, a special workshop is available to help residents deal with a recent job loss or ongoing unemployment.
We really look at the things that are stressing a person out right now, and they share this so that they know they're not by themselves, that everyone is feeling some of the things they're feeling.
Job loss or unemployment is no doubt a very stressful experience. When someone loses a job or faces a longer period of unemployment, they feel hurt or even get angry. However, you can change how you feel with 3 simple steps.
We use an ABC model that there's an activity, there's a belief, and there's a consequence. And all you have to do is change the belief and you will get a different consequence.
A job provides us with a purpose, adds a meaning to life, and determines how others look up to you. It's not just loss of income a job loss brings. There are several other losses that we face. If not handled properly, the phase of losing a job or even being unemployed for a long time can take its toll on our personal lives.
We can't solve their stress, but we do talk about trying to have them cope with it. That's why it's called that, by doing things that might help them to limit their stress or help them get out of the stress response.
You should not dwell on your job loss. Instead, you should assess the entire situation, how it all took place, and what you could do to prevent this from happening in the future. The sooner you accept the reality, the sooner you can prepare yourself to move on. Follow a daily routine, prepare a job search plan, and use your energy on things you have control of.
It's very important for diet, exercise, a whole bunch of things. But what we really stress is your belief system.
Situations like this happen and have happened to many successful people. Learn from your failures and emerge stronger and more resilient than before. In addition to keeping stress under control, managing how you make a first impression is key during your job search. We spoke with Mike Pine, the facilitator of the First Impression Workshop, to learn more.
The workshop is about the importance of first impressions and how quickly they're made as opposed to how quickly people think they're made.
First impressions can be quite important. We all get first impressions of a new person that creates a mental image of his or her personalities in our minds. That image of you often lasts and can affect the relationship that follows.
This workshop is not only for people who are job hunting, it could apply to virtually anyone who has to be concerned about a first impression.
A good or great first impression can create a positive role in the minds of the new people we meet.
Things happen very quickly, judgments are formed very quickly, and you have to be on top of it and make sure it's right, as well as you can do.
To ensure a positive first impression, keep your body language open, stand up straight, and by all means, be positive.
You control first impressions to people by, of course, appearance, by the sound of your voice, by your posture, if it's appearance, by limiting your motions, make sure it's positive body language. It's an awful lot of things, not talking too quickly. It's about being aware of your presentation and editing out what doesn't need to be there.
Of course, different environments like business meetings with suits and ties or parties come with different goals and expectations, so figure out what's appropriate and useful in each new meeting. Coming up, the Four Kicks facility will host a family fun day next weekend, and we have the details. Plus, we'll have your pet of the week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
WMCT-TV needs your help. Years ago, our archives took a hit, and now we don't have any old programming before 1996. If you have any old Marlborough cable programming, now's the time to bring it to the station at 91 Main Street. You know that old closet where you throw everything? Check in there. Oh! You're bound to find some old tapes in there. Check your junk drawers, attics, maybe even your garage. If you've appeared on TV here or had a child that played high school sports, chances are you have a few tapes hanging around. We'll give you a DVD for your trouble, and if you want back the old VHS, we can even show you what you can do with it. Whether it's your kids' varsity games from Marlborough High or Assabet, old newscasts, series programs, or even specials, we want them. Just call the station at 508-481-1373 and ask for Dan. Come on, find those tapes now.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Next Saturday, the Four Kicks facility will be hosting an event to raise money for the Genesis Fund. All families are encouraged to spend a few hours for a good cause. A new indoor play day for all ages called Family Fun Fest brings field games inside along with kid-friendly activities. On Saturday, April 30th from 12:30 to 6 p.m., 7 fields inside Four Kicks Marlborough will feature sports games and clinics for the entire family. Representatives from local sports teams and the media will attend this event. Mascots and representatives from the Boston Blazers, New England Revolution, and Worcester Tornadoes will also be present. In addition to shooting hoops and building lacrosse or soccer skills, participants can hone their golf swing, play laser tag, brave the inflatable obstacle course, and more. Kids will also have the opportunity to make crafts to take home and play carnival games to win prizes. All the proceeds from this event will support the Genesis Fund. The Genesis Fund, a nonprofit organization, raises funds to enrich the lives of children and their families affected by birth defects, genetic disorders, and intellectual disabilities. Four Kicks supports programs that ensure children born with physical and genetic challenges receive the care necessary to maximize their potential. Our local library is getting in on the family fun as well with a special event that's planned for the first Wednesday in May. The Marlborough Public Library and the Marlborough Public Schools Title I program will host Family Night at the Marlborough Public Library on Wednesday, May 4th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. This evening is being held to celebrate Children's Book Week and will provide an opportunity for families to find out what the library has to offer over the summer and throughout the entire year. This is a free drop-in program. No registration is required. The library will provide tours and talk about their summer reading program and teen volunteering team. Story times will also be held throughout the library with reading specialists from the Kane, Richer, Jarwick, and Whitcomb schools. Refreshments will be served, and for more information, please call the Children's Department at 508-624-6902.
Today we have Carly, and Carly is a lovable little Beagle Shepherd mix, and she's a stray that came to us from a rescue group in North Carolina. She's very affectionate, very sweet. She gets along with other dogs. She's going to make a great family pet. So if you're interested in Carly, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
And before we go, don't forget the city is gearing up for its annual Project Clean Sweep. This year's event is scheduled for next Saturday, April 30th. Anyone who has questions or would like to sign up should contact Ken Calder at 508-624-6910 extension 7300. The rain date is May 1st from noon to 3 p.m. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.
Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, the MEDC's master plan process continued this week with a few city tours. Prom safety was the topic of discussion on Friday morning to the junior and senior class, plus the leader of the Advanced Math and Science Academy will be retiring this year. And later in this half hour, Marlborough Hospital says goodbye to its president at an evening ceremony. Those stories and more are coming up right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin with the MEDC's master plan process. The Marlborough Economic Development Corporation is in the midst of preparing an economic development master plan for the city. This planning process, which will produce both an economic development strategy and action plan for the community, involves a significant public participation component. The first phase of that public participation occurred April 13th and 14th at the Massachusetts International Academy in Marlborough, where over the two-day period, about 150 people took part in 13 focus group meetings. These focus groups, which were comprised of individuals with similar interests and backgrounds, provided the MEDC and its consultants with an opportunity to engage residents, property owners, business owners, and people that work in Marlborough every day in discussions relative to the local economy and its future.
Very open, not pulling any punches. People are telling it as it is. And again, surprisingly, we're finding, I shouldn't say surprising, but to my surprise, most things are very positive. People really enjoy being in Marlborough, the people who are here. Location has definitely come up as a very important factor in their choice. The availability of space to lease and to buy is definitely a factor in locating businesses here. And access to employment base is very important in Marlborough, so an asset to Marlborough. So a lot of people are very happy with their location here.
The next phase is a public participation component that will offer an opportunity for all residents to voice their ideas and thoughts about the future growth of Marlborough's economy. The day's events will begin on May 21st at 8:30 a.m. in Marlborough High School's Little Theater. The day's schedule of activities will conclude by 12:30 p.m. In addition to the forums following the success of the Marlborough City Bus Tour organized for the Economic Development Master Plan Consultants on February 16th, the MEDC provided the tour again for the benefit of city councilors and MEDC board members. This week, DPW Commissioner and MEDC board member Ron LaFreniere conducted a city tour showcasing Marlborough's finest assets, including the Special Olympics facility, Four Kicks, Ken's Foods, and Christopher Heights.
We're on a very short schedule for developing this master plan, as you know, and it's really important for folks who are participating in that process to get a flavor of the community, take a look at some areas in the community that they may not necessarily be familiar with on a day-to-day basis, and that was really what the purpose of the bus tour was.
About 12 people attended Tuesday's tour.
There were several things that came out during the tour, at least expressed by some of the participants. The fact that the city produces approximately 30% of its own water supply and gets 70% of its water supply from the MWRA.
All of these programs involved with the master plan process will result in a document that will be useful as we look forward to the next decade of growth. LaFreniere encourages all to participate in the public forum coming up on May 21st.
We're encouraging folks who may not on a regular basis participate in city government or in city programs, and we want to hear from those folks as well.
Councilors will soon see if they can agree on a better way to deliver social services to the city. Mayor Nancy Stevens has proposed changing city regulations to establish a new human services department that would include veteran services, human services, and the Council on Aging. The City Council, which will vote on the mayor's request, referred discussions to its Personnel Committee on Monday. In other business, Mayor Stevens has decided not to support a proposal to take future councilors out of the city's health care and pension systems, despite the City Council's strong backing of the measure. Stevens returned the Home Rule petition unsigned Tuesday and says she does not think the city should have a two-tiered system where some councilors would be eligible for benefits and others would not. A Route 20 restaurant owner who has been the subject of noise complaints from neighbors received an earful from a city official for his bad attitude at Wednesday night's licensing board public hearing on his contested request for outdoor seating. Matt LeDuc, owner of the West Ender at 493 Boston Post Road West, wants to add 32 seats in a patio along Route 20. A handful of neighbors at the hearing said they are worried that the patio will be noisy. As it stands, the project may not qualify for approval because LeDuc proposes having customers enter the patio from outside, not from inside the restaurant, like similar patios in the city. While the school committee Tuesday night strongly supported a fiscal 2012 budget that includes leadership structure changes, debate turned heated following the vote when the mayor announced her intention to allot benefit costs differently. The committee voted 6-0 for Superintendent Anthony Pope's $49.8 million level services school budget, a 3% increase from the current year. The recommended school budget amount will be different from the approved figure. She plans to move some benefit costs typically allotted on the city side of the budget over to the school side. The estimated $8.5 million includes health insurance and unemployment costs. School committee members said they were upset that Stevens did not tell them about her plans before the meeting. Stevens said she underestimated what she thought was just an accounting switch. She can increase or decrease the amount as she prepares her proposed municipal budget. The City Council's Finance Committee plans to hold hearings on department budgets next month. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
Executive Director of the Advanced Math and Science Academy for the last 3 years will retire at the end of this school year. Barbara McGann said she's leaving because she wants to spend more time with her family. McGann was superintendent of Marlborough schools from 2006 to 2008. She announced her resignation from the position in January 2008 and started at the charter school that May. To continue with our school's Middlesex District Attorney Jerry Leone spoke to high school students on Friday morning regarding choices and consequences of staying safe during the spring season. As prom and graduation season quickly approaches, Marlborough High School gathered their junior and senior students for a discussion about making the right decisions when it comes to celebrating with friends.
We're here at Marlborough High School, as we are all across Middlesex County, talking to kids, particularly high school students, about making good choices and the fact that good choices follow good consequences and bad choices and bad decisions follow with bad and sometimes tragic consequences.
Leone spoke to the students for an hour or so about what to do if faced with a difficult situation.
It's especially important at this time of year during the spring prom season, where we know the #1 killer of kids is car crashes, and especially at this time of year. The #1 killer of kids the ages 15 to 20 being car crashes, it goes up during the spring season, and it goes up exponentially when you mix drinking with alcohol or other drugs.
Leone identified specific examples of students their age who made the wrong decision.
Hopefully they leave here making better decisions, not compounding when they make a mistake, and remembering to help each other out, especially at this time of year, to make it an excellent 4 years and nothing short of that.
The presentation made a strong emphasis on alcohol use.
We try to highlight for the kids that just using alcohol or other drugs is a very bad decision. And then after they've used a drug or alcohol, not to get into a car, not to drive a car or not to get into a car where someone has used alcohol or other drugs.
Leone stressed that making bad decisions can happen, but he spoke about what to do if that happens.
It's about not making bad decisions, but if you make a bad decision, not compounding that decision. And if you make a bad decision and maybe compound it, then hopefully a good friend will step in and avoid the tragic consequence for them.
Through these discussions around the area, the hope is that students will be able to step up in difficult situations and show leadership.
It may mean that they are momentarily unpopular. We'd rather they were momentarily unpopular but courageous in showing leadership than hurt or dead because they made a bad decision or didn't intercept somebody else from making a really bad decision.
Police Chief Mark Leonard was on hand to speak with students as well on Friday.
We want to make sure that the message gets out to young people that drinking and driving is just not a good mix. Every year we see and read in the news that there are tragedies when kids don't make the right decisions and the right choices.
Leonard recommended that students start thinking of making the right decisions now, not when you're in a peer pressure situation.
You might do things that maybe you know you shouldn't do, but because of peer pressure you kind of cave in to those ideas. So we just want to make sure that the message gets out there that what is supposed to be a very fun time in your life and a very happy time in your life can turn tragic in a moment.
The police chief also mentioned that police will be out in force during prom season to ensure the safety of all residents.
We basically have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to certainly drinking and driving, illegal drug use among teens and things like that. So, you know, we hope that everyone has a safe and happy prom and graduation season. But again, just hammer home the point that making good decisions, making good choices, making sure your friends don't drive drunk, that you don't get in the car with someone who's been drinking. You know, make those decisions and just have a great, happy, safe season.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, the Council on Aging and Senior Center recognizes their Volunteers of the Year. But first, a farewell ceremony for Marlborough Hospital's president, John Polanowitz. We're back with that story after this short break. Please stay with us.
This is Ducky Duck. Ducky Duck is really no different than you and I. You see, Ducky enjoys using Marlborough's rivers, streams, lakes, and ponds for travel, leisure, and even for drinking water. But Ducky needs your help. When humans mistake stormwater drains for sewers, it causes many problems. While sewers are connected to the plumbing in our houses, stormwater catch basins are completely separate and flow directly into our public water supply. Polluted waterways can affect the quality of our drinking water, our wildlife, and the overall health of our city. So when you discard trash, fertilizers, or oils into these drains, it's bad news for Ducky and for you. Help keep our waterways clean.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The Chief Executive Officer and President of Marlborough Hospital, John Polanowitz, was recognized at a ceremony on Monday night. He will be leaving the hospital on May 6th.
I moved to this community and I had never grown up with a community hospital, and I never understood the benefits of having a community hospital. But John certainly has taught all of us in this community what a benefit it is to have a hospital like Marlborough Hospital.
Stewart Healthcare System has announced that John Polanowitz has been named president of St. Elizabeth's Medical Center. Polanowitz joins St. E's from Marlborough Hospital, where he served as president and chief executive officer. On Monday night, colleagues and friends gathered together to show their thanks for all of John's hard work and dedication to the hospital.
I have been fortunate to know and work with John for many years. Of course, the last 11 years have been here at Marlborough Hospital. As I look back over those years, I've realized that you, my friend, have many accomplishments and are quite accomplished. And you leave behind a legacy that should certainly make you proud.
He currently services on the board of the Massachusetts Hospital Association and chairs its Clinical Issues Advisory Council.
You have taken this community, this hospital, and made it your own. The expansion of Southborough, the new cancer pavilion, everything that you've done in the renovations of this hospital, you've always had this community number one in your heart. And I don't know how anyone's going to fill your shoes, because you've really been a gem for this community. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve with you professionally and to call you a friend.
He's a graduate of the United States Military Academy at West Point and holds an MBA from Stanford University.
John never backed down from an issue. And as a CEO, and you know, there are a lot of hospital CEOs in the room here, you know, you are often confronted with tough decisions, and by that I mean there might be an easier decision, but the tough decision is doing the right thing, and John has always done the right thing.
While at Marlborough Hospital, Polanowitz bolstered patient care by establishing new service lines, building relationships with physician groups, and investing in emerging technologies.
The hospital never stood so well in the esteem of the medical and surgical staff and the esteem of the general public as it does today.
He also led a financial turnaround that resulted in 5 straight years of positive financial results.
Through the efforts of the hospital staff and our physician colleagues, with the support of the Board of Trustees and UMass Memorial, we have made great progress on that journey, and I know that the successes will continue. In closing, I want to thank you all again for your support of me and the hospital. It truly does make a difference. Thank you.
We sat down with John on Wednesday to see how he felt about this ceremony and to see how he feels about leaving his position at Marlborough Hospital.
It was hard. It was, I know I couldn't look at a couple of the speakers while they were talking, that's for sure, because it was emotional.
Monday night's recognition ceremony meant a lot to John. He took time to speak with all who attended and thank them for their support for the last 16 years as part of the UMass Memorial System and the last 8 at Marlborough Hospital. Candy Zemansky, Chief Operating Officer for Marlborough Hospital, who was the host at Monday's ceremony, mentioned that she has never met someone as special as John. As John worked at the hospital, he always seemed to pay attention to the small things that made a big difference.
It's not always the big projects or, you know, the new hire or something like that. Sometimes it's, the little things, picking up, a piece of trash or, helping somebody in from the parking lot. And those are the kinds of things that I think our staff, our physicians and our board have really bought into.
His approach to Marlborough Hospital has not gone overlooked. Recently, St. Elizabeth's Hospital reached out to John to set up a meeting to talk. During their meeting, John was offered a job. Despite not wanting to leave Marlborough Hospital, John is welcoming the chance to serve at St. E's.
I think what I'm looking forward to is taking, what we've been able to do at Marlborough and just doing it, again, for maybe a larger organization, but another organization. St. Elizabeth's has a great name. And they're looking for some leadership to help them, build new clinical programs, which we've done at Marlborough, to focus on quality and safety, which we've done at Marlborough.
At Marlborough Hospital, John took the time to remember all the staff by name, including having knowledge about their families and personal lives.
I will miss that, although I'll try to try as many of the 2,000 people that work at St. Elizabeth's.
Moving forward, an interim president has been put in place, Doug Brown, Senior Vice President and General Counsel of UMass Memorial Healthcare.
He, at the system level, is one of those people that really get how a system can work and what the value of all of the aspects of the system are, not just the medical center in Worcester, but its community hospitals, and whether that be the programs at Marlborough or at Clinton or at Health Alliance or at Wing. Doug really gets it.
John is not leaving Marlborough entirely. He will continue to reside in the city. And yes, he will be at this year's Relay for Life.
My new administrative assistant called me about an event that Friday night, and I said, geez, I'm sorry, I can't go to it. I have a Relay for Life in Marlborough that night.
As John prepares to leave Marlborough in May, he mentioned how numerous individuals helped him get him where he is today.
At the end of the day, it's really important for me to just say thanks to them, whether it be my team at Marlborough Hospital or the physicians or the Board of Trustees, who's been incredibly supportive in terms of really trying to make the hospital a great place, and also the community, whether it be the business leaders or the individuals in the community who have been very supportive of us. I'd like to think over the last 8 years, the reputation of the hospital and the community has changed in a positive way. And that comes from not only the hard work and effort of the team at Marlborough Hospital, but the support of the community. Without the support of the community, we couldn't have done what we've been able to do.
Our local Council on Aging and Senior Center held their annual volunteer dinner on Wednesday night as they recognized the Volunteer of the Year. This year it featured 2 recipients.
It's just nice to be able to stop and really say thank you and have the volunteers just hopefully reflect on what they give to the center and to other seniors here in the community.
It's the mission of the Marlborough Council on Aging and Senior Center to promote healthy, successful aging and to enhance the quality of life for Marlborough's senior citizens 60 years of age and older. In return, many of the seniors volunteer their time to make programs more accessible to all who are in need. Every year, a volunteer recognition dinner is held to show those who give back how much they are appreciated. This year, the dinner was held at Assabet Valley High School's Epicurean Restaurant, and there were 2 recipients of the Volunteer of the Year award. The recipients for this year are Jerry Cavicchio and Larry Vivquain. Dozens of seniors came up to show support, in addition to Mayor Nancy Stevens, City Council President Arthur Vigent, and Ward 7 City Councilor John Landers. This was Council on Aging Director Jennifer Claro's first volunteer dinner, and she was impressed with what this night meant to all who attended.
Tonight we've just really been looking forward to recognizing the volunteers that give of their time every day at the Senior Center. from delivering meals to visiting homebound seniors, to transporting seniors to medical appointments when they have no transportation, or simply just organizing an activity for seniors to enjoy at the senior center.
Larry Vivcoin, who currently coordinates Friends in Service Helping, which is a volunteer-based driving service helping those reach their medical appointments who don't have a means to get there. For the past 6 or 7 months, 45 volunteers have come forward to help.
We used the newspapers and things like that and put the word out that we needed some volunteers to drive people to medical appointments, and it worked. And it continues to work. And that's the neat thing. People, they want to give back to the community, and this is a great way to do it.
Before Vivcoin began the volunteer driving service here, he was coordinating one in Sudbury.
He just was really appreciative of the work that he did there and felt very compelled to start that program, that volunteer program here, because he knew of a need. And what a need it is.
If you are interested in volunteering your time, there's a simple way to get involved.
You call the senior center and ask to be connected to the FISH answering machine, and you just leave a message there that you're interested in volunteering, and we'll get back to you.
Coming up, a volunteer effort that you can get involved with is coming up in May. Plus, we'll have your Pet of the Week. Don't move. We're back after this short break.
WMCT-TV needs your help. Years ago, our archives took a hit, and now we don't have any old programming before 1996. If you have any old Marlborough cable programming, now's the time to bring it to the station at 91 Main Street. You know that old closet where you throw everything? Check in there. Oh! You're bound to find some old tapes in there. Check your junk drawers, attics, maybe even your garage. If you've appeared on TV here or had a child that played high school sports, chances are you have a few tapes hanging around. We'll give you a DVD for your trouble, and if you want back the old VHS, we can even show you what you can do with it. Whether it's your kids' varsity games from Marlborough High or Assabet, old newscasts, series programs, or even specials, we want them. Just call the station at 508-481-1373 and ask for Dan. Come on, find those tapes now.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. The American Cancer Society's Relay for Life 2011 is just around the corner. It will take place on Friday, May 20th, and will once again be held at Galone Park. The Relay for Life Marlborough and Hudson has been growing for the past few years. Participation and money raised reflects the rising interest. The relay is not a typical fundraiser. Teams of people band together for an all-night relay walk with the goal of raising money for research to fight against cancer. There's a festive, carnival-like atmosphere much of the time with food, fun, and games. But there are also moments when loved ones lost to cancer are remembered. The 2011 Relay for Life of Marlborough and Hudson will take place on May 20th through the 21st at Galone Park in Marlborough. For more information, please contact the American Cancer Society representative, Becky Calandris, at 508-270-4638 or by email to becky.calandris@cancer.org.
Today we have Bear, and Bear is about 2 years old. He's a neutered male, we think a Pekingese mix, and he came to us from a rescue group in Maryland. He was adopted out once and brought back because he tends to be a little protective. He probably needs some training, some obedience school, and just to learn how to be a good dog in general. So we're recommending an adult-only home for him with someone who has time to work with him, and he should make a pretty good pet with a little help. So if you're interested in Bear, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
And before we go, we'd like to remind you that our station has a Facebook page. Please look it up under WMCT-TV and become a fan. We post videos and the latest news you need to know. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.